Hi, my name is Richie Moore from RichieMoore.com. The reason why I'm putting this video together is to tell my story. I've got an interesting story. Unfortunately, it's not unique. It's very, very common. And I've got a couple of situations that I'd like to talk about that were life-threatening, and to be honest, I've made some decisions in my life and I've made some serious changes. Some drastic, maybe not some that was so drastic, but life-changing. And although they're life-changing, there were simple decisions to make. So, after talking to my wife about some of the things that I'm going through, we decided that maybe it's best that I start putting some videos together and sharing my story, because maybe I can help somebody. Maybe I can help one person, maybe I could help more. Because, like I said, my story's serious, but it's not unique. It's common. So many people in this country are going through the same things that I'm going through. And they could be struggling in some areas. So I'm going to put together a couple of, a bunch of videos. So I'm going to put together this channel, this webpage, and this YouTube channel, followed by a couple of multimedia sites and some social media sites, with hopes that maybe I can just help somebody going through their struggles. It's also going to help me personally to keep me in check and to make sure that I fulfill my obligations to myself and my family, because the truth of the matter is, I want to live. So, you may be asking now, who is this guy? Well, on some levels, I'm still trying to figure that out, just like everybody else. I go to work. I literally bust my back, bust my ass every day to work. And I'll get into that a little bit. But I don't know. It's not important who I am. It's more important who I'm not. I'm not a guru. I'm not a doctor. I'm not anybody who works in the health industry at all. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a specialist. I'm just an everyday guy who wants to live and take care of his family. I'm married 28 years to my beautiful wife Pam. I have two sons, Eddie and Daniel, 23, 22 years old. They work for one of the largest, fastest growing companies, and they bust their asses at work too. And it's important for me to give back. So I'm putting together these videos. Now, the situation that I'm in is, to sum it up real briefly, on June 11th, 2019, I had a heart attack. Shortly after having a heart attack, I found that I'm diabetic. Now, going back 25 years ago, I had an injury to my spine, and that's why I said I go to work every day and I bust my back. I have spinal stenosis in 9 different discs. I have 3 bulging discs in my back. I've been told that I need knee replacement, but I'm not a candidate because it doesn't last that long, and at that time I was 40 years old. Now I'm 51. I was born in January of 1969. When I was a kid, I broke my ankle, and through the years that started developing a lot more issues. Through a car accident, I have a bad shoulder. I have spinal stenosis in my neck. I have spinal stenosis in my mid-back and bulging discs in my mid-back. And I have spinal stenosis and a bulging disc in my lower back. So that's a little bit about me. Is what you're going to discover is I'm stubborn. I research and I question things. So I have a few friends that were obese and had been diagnosed with diabetes, and also had different types of surgery in order to lose weight. And when they did, their diabetes went away. They were cured from diabetes. Now I know diabetes leads to heart disease, and I have both. So if you have an operation or surgery that makes you change your diet and you can cure diabetes, well, was it the surgery that cured the diabetes, or was it the change in the diet that cured the diabetes? So that really got me thinking. By the way, it's type 2 diabetes that I have. So, insulin resistance. My body makes too much insulin. With type 1 diabetes, your body doesn't make insulin. But the treatment is the same. Today, in 2020, the treatment is the same. Why are we treating diabetes with too much insulin the same as we're treating as if you don't have insulin? Why are we giving people with type 2 diabetes insulin? Well, because people don't change their diet. So I started doing some more research. And it would make sense that if you lower your calories, your intake of calories, and you exercise, you'll begin to lose weight. Well, I just described a whole bunch of reasons of why I can't really exercise. I'm not saying that I'm handicapped, but in a lot of ways I really am. And I go to work, I bust my butt, and sometimes I don't have enough energy to get from the front door to my bed. Not that I don't have enough energy, but I don't have the stamina. I'm in so much pain. Sometimes I just have tears coming down my face because of the pain. So exercise, more than what's on a regular daily activity for me, is kind of out the window. I've tried. I've joined gyms. I was gung-ho. I'm going to get through this. And it's really hard to stay motivated when you're going to go drive 15 minutes to a place that's going to be crippling for you for the rest of the day after you leave, because you're trying to help yourself. How do you stay motivated to signing up for pain Doctors have told me I need to go to physical therapy. There's nothing that they can do for my case. They can't even really give me the injections, because where would they start? My upper back, my neck, my mid back, my lower back. And it's not even guaranteed that it would work, because I have different ailments. So, struggling with a diet to lower my caloric intake. I've tried. I've failed. I am stubborn, but it's just impossible. So I tried the Atkins diet. I was successful on the Atkins diet. I did well. But this was all before my heart attack, and I gave up. I'm just going to cheat for today, and then tomorrow I'm going to take a week off. I'll take a month off. And then before you know it, it's 9 months, and I gained a lot of weight and found myself getting up to, I'm 5'6", by the way. And I found myself getting up to 270 pounds. Take a look at these pictures. I'm not too proud. These pictures are pretty disgusting, and I warn you, graphic material, not something you really want to see. But if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this 100%, and I'm going to do this the right way, and I'm putting everything that I have out there. Because there are other people that I know are in the same situation as I am. So this ain't about pride, this is about life. So, yes, 270 pounds at 5'6", heart attack, diabetes, and spinal injuries, shoulder injuries, knee injuries, and ankle injuries. So, I broke both my elbows. So you got elbows, neck, shoulder, upper back, mid back, lower back, both knees, and an ankle. I think the only thing that's left is my wrists. Everything else is all beat up on me. So yeah, I've gone on Atkins diet. I was successful. I went off again. Went on, went off, went on, went off. Found myself to 270 pounds with a heart attack and diabetes. Laying in a hospital for a week is no fun. I was just so happy to be alive. I went through so many emotions. Who's going to take, if something happens to me, who's going to take care of my family? We have a house, we have a mortgage. Neither one of my sons are married. Both of them are in serious relationships with beautiful girls. That Eddie's been with his girl for 5 years, and Daniel's been with his girl for 10 years, and they're thinking about getting married, and they're engaged, and they're trying to sort everything out. I've got a whole life and plenty of obligations ahead of me. And now I'm laying in a hospital with diabetes and a heart attack. You want to talk about life-changing. I made myself some promises that day that I'll never forget. I went through emotional problems like you wouldn't believe. When I came out of the hospital, I was so happy to leave that hospital, and I was all gung-ho, and then something happened to me. I went into a depression. I was so depressed. I've never felt anything like it in my life. I lived through a heart attack at 51 years old. And I went through depression. Nobody can understand why. And then the medicine they gave me. Oh my God, the medicine. I was sleeping 12, 14 hours. And 2 hours after being awake, I had to get back to bed. I was so tired, exhausted, couldn't keep my eyes open, didn't want to keep my eyes open, just wanted to get back to bed. I don't know if it was because of the medicine making me so terribly tired, or the depression that I was in, that I couldn't get out of bed and didn't want to be out anywhere but my bed. Excuse me. Sorry. So all I know is I was sleeping so much, and if I wasn't sleeping, I was grouchy. I was mad at people for no reason. I was nobody to be around. That was all I wanted to do, was stay in my room. Thank God I snapped out of that somehow. Went back to the cardiologist, spoke to him about my medicines, spoke to him about my problems, and he changed the medications. And then I just forced myself just to be awake and be alive and live and get out of this, snap out of this funk I'm in. And it was terrible. I don't even know why. Why would I be depressed? I lived through something. That's something to celebrate. In my knucklehead body and mind, I'm in a bedroom all the time. So now I had some choices to make. Am I gonna live? Am I gonna smile? Am I gonna sleep all the time until I die? And if I choose to live, I've got to make some changes. And the first change, the very, very first change, besides being a mental change in order to make the steps necessary to change, was I had to change my diet. Luckily, I'm not the type of person that likes to eat. Well, I do like to eat. I'm not saying I don't like to eat, but I wouldn't go to the supermarket and buy a half a gallon of ice cream, because I know I would sit there and eat the whole thing. So that was out. I wouldn't buy potato chips. I wouldn't buy sweetened cereal, because I know I would just sit there and eat the whole thing. And I wouldn't have been 270 pounds, I would have been 370 pounds. But I do love pizza, fast food, just a carbohydrate junkie. French fries. Oh, I love French fries. And I started to think about the supermarket, because that's where the diet starts, right? Everything you purchase is from a supermarket. When you walk into a supermarket, generally to the left you have all the produce, all the natural food. In the back of the supermarket you have the poultry, the beef, the meat section, the butcher section. Then you have the dairy section. And then all the aisles, all 32 aisles, is all man-made food. I mean, in our country, we put sugar in milk. Found that crazy. Never knew that. But between corn products and sugar, America is obese. Try and go through a supermarket aisle and find products that don't have sugar and don't have corn or a derivative of. It's impossible. But these are the things that we needed as a country to feed our people so that we can grow, because corn is cheap as hell. So now America has an obesity problem. And I have an obesity problem. 5'7", 270 pounds. So, am I going to go back on the Atkins diet? Am I going to go to Weight Watchers? Am I going to do Jenny Craig or something else advertised on TV? What's the new phase? What's the new thing going on? Am I going to magically get motivated to go to the gym with all my pains and aches and life that gets in the way of life? Am I going to find any magical pill that's going to get me to start running with bad knees, bad ankle, bad back? Am I going to... No, I'm not going to do any of that. How? How could I now all of a sudden do this when I couldn't do it before? But I was successful on the Atkins low-carb diet before. And maybe, we'll see, but maybe if I lose a lot of the weight, like people say, you'll begin to feel better. Well, let's hope that's true. So far I've lost 40 pounds. And I'm not motivated to go to a gym. Maybe I will be. My goal is to get down to 170 from 270. Maybe at that point I'll be able to exercise. Or maybe just walk a couple of miles a day. But in the meantime, it's my consumption, my food. What am I eating? What am I going to eat? And I've learned about the keto diet. And it scared me. Like, I was on the Atkins diet, but I tried to stay with more protein than fat. Keto diet, stay with more fat than protein. Well, now we're in 2020, and I first learned about the Atkins diet in 1998. So Dr. Atkins was ridiculed and made fun of, and rumors about him that he died on the diet eating bacon, and meanwhile in reality he actually just slipped and fell on the ice and had a heart attack at a late age in his life and was healthy until then. But my point is that the medical industry, with the food pyramid, they've learned, they've researched, they've dug in. They said things are happening in America and we need to really figure this out. And then you got the TV show The Biggest Loser. Who doesn't watch The Biggest Loser? You really get inspired by these people that were 600 pounds and now they're 300 pounds or 200 pounds. And that they've lost all this weight and they're exercising, with reducing their caloric intake and exercising. But then they don't do follow-ups and they don't do reunions. And I'm like, why? Because everybody gains the weight back. They're not proud of the long-term results. So that was on my mind also. And like I said, I started learning more and more about the keto diet. And on this webpage and on this channel, you'll see links to other people's YouTube videos from doctors and lectures that they've given and education that they're giving out for free. And it all talks about how great the food-induced ketosis is, and alongside intermittent fasting, that it can cure diabetes, not control blood sugar and A1c, because blood sugar and A1c is not the disease. Diabetes type 2 is the disease, and having an A1c of 11.8 is not the disease, but a symptom of the disease. So yes, medicine can reduce the A1c. By the way, I'm not taking any medication at all for diabetes. I am taking medicine to make sure that the stents and put into the arteries do not clog up. But I'm not taking anything at all for diabetes. And I have some blood work that I'm going to show you, where I've brought my levels down in just a few months. My glucose is 144 now, down from 260. My triglycerides, and that's a very big one, is 303 right now. At one time there was 768. With no medication, I've dropped it down to 303. I've got my A1c, if I can find it. HDL cholesterol was 25, now 34. It's supposed to be above 39. So that's getting better. A1c, this particular blood test was 10.5. Remember I said it was up to 11.8. 10.5. Supposed to be 4.8 to 5.6. So 10.5, and now it's a 7.8. No medication, diet only. Specifically more of a keto diet with intermittent fasting. Actually, that's not true. I didn't start the intermittent fasting until after this blood test, which was February 26th, and today's March 2nd. So I just recently started the intermittent fasting because I learned more about it, and that takes control. But the truth of the matter is, when you eat more of a keto diet, you're not that hungry afterwards. Eating just, twice a day between the hours of 2 o'clock in the afternoon and 6:30 p.m. You eat 2 solid meals, and I mean solid meals, during those times, and you're not hungry until 2 o'clock in the afternoon the next day. I was never really a breakfast person. A lot of people really have to have breakfast. And sometimes I would just not eat breakfast because I was in a rush or whatever. I would put it off. Now there's nothing to put off. I don't crave it. I don't look for it. There's no reason for it. I'm not hungry. I'm not waking up hungry. So what a lot of this channel is going to be about is the food that I'm consuming. The keto diet, low carb. I use the Instant Pot. I use an air fryer. Of course I use stovetop, and I use oven. And I use a Weber kettle with an insert, which I will discuss at another time. For indirect heat for the Weber kettle. I can smoke a brisket for 12 hours using charcoal, and it comes out absolutely amazing. And just a $100 Weber kettle. One of the things that I discovered was mixing different techniques of cooking. So I'll smoke a brisket on the Weber kettle. And I've learned that the smoke penetrates the meat within 3 hours. Anything past that, you're not really getting smoke into the meat. So why is it sitting on the barbecue for another 9 hours? Why can't I smoke it for 3 hours and then put it on in the Instant Pot and finish off the cook in 20 minutes instead of 9 hours? I like the crispy skin of chicken and chicken thighs. Like, you get tired of eating the same thing over and over again. But there are some things that you just love. So I'll cook some chicken thighs in the Instant Pot and then take them out of the Instant Pot and put them into an air fryer for 6 to 7 minutes. So the skin gets extra crunchy and crispy. And because of the Instant Pot, the pressure cooking, the food, the chicken gets so cooked perfectly, almost fall off the bone, but it's just so juicy and tender and crispy on the outside that you can't achieve this in an oven. It dries out the food if you're trying to make it crispy. You think you can until you've done what I'm doing. So I call cooking with different methods, I call it hybrid. Like hybrid cars are half gas, gasoline, and half electric. So I'll use half Instant Pot, half air fryer. Half Weber kettle, half Instant Pot. Half Weber kettle, half air fryer. I'm not a cook, I'm not a chef. But I like flavor and I like different foods. And if I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to try and make it as fun as possible, as easy as possible, and as delicious as possible. And a lot of times I do the cooking for my family. So I have a large family. I have my uncle who lives with me. I have my mother-in-law who has health issues. She lives with me. My uncle had injuries, was hit by an ambulance, hit by a bus. My wife lives with me, obviously. Thank God. And 2 kids and their girlfriends, and sometimes we have a friend or family over. So I do the cooking, and I don't always do the cooking, but I do a lot of cooking. And people don't want to eat like a bird. So a lot of the meals I make, they don't even know is low carb. They don't even know. They're like, wow, this is delicious. This is awesome. So I've taken my knowledge so far, and I'm going to put that into videos to try and help somebody. And I'm going to learn. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to try to put things in simple formula so somebody can understand. And I'm going to show my blood results. And I'm going to keep myself focused and keep myself motivated. Because you can't keep something unless if you give it away. I learned that at a very young age. So hopefully I'll be able to help at least one person, 2 people, 3 people would be incredible. Because it's all about living. Living for yourself, living for your family. I don't know when, but I'm sure I'm going to have grandchildren within the next few years. Like I said, my son's dating his girlfriend 10 years. So I just keep remembering my cousin Vinny, and my biological clock is ticking. That's it. That's my story. It's not an awesome story. Thank God it's not the saddest story. But it's a common story. So, RichieMoore.com and YouTube. I have to figure that part out. I guess it'll be YouTube/Richie Moore. I will put the link to my YouTube channel on the webpage, and I will put videos from YouTube posting onto the web page, and I'll put a link to the YouTube channel on the web page, so you'll be able to find me through the website, through YouTube. I'll set up a Pinterest, I'll set up an Instagram, and I'll show my progress. And I'll show you what I eat on a regular basis to reach my goals. And together we'll get this done. Thank you for sharing this time with me. I know this video was kind of long. And it kind of reminds me of something I heard yesterday. I spoke to an elderly man. And he looked at me and he said, "Are you okay? You look tired." I said, "Yeah, it's been a long day." And he said, "You know, I had a heart attack once." I said, "So did I." He says, "It's a funny thing, after my heart attack, I never complained about long days." And I kind of looked at him with a strange face. And he said, "Well, if you think about it, is what you really have to worry about is the day that they shorten one of your days." And I said, wow. Wow. My day was almost shortened. Found myself in an emergency room with a heart attack. So now I look forward to long days. And I look forward to tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. And I look forward to the day I can go to the gym with motivation to be there and maybe not be in so much pain. At 160, 170 pounds at 5'6". Look forward to being able to take my grandchildren fishing, camping, living life. That's what I look forward to. So thank you for sharing this time with me. And I do apologize the video was so long. Drop me a note at the bottom. Leave a comment. Send me an email. Richie@richiemore.com. RICHIEMOORE.com. Thank you, and enjoy life.